All right, let's get this started. Pull up the camera. We're going to have a little mini discussion review of Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 3, and also World Beyond, whatever the hell they're doing. Now, in the video description, let me put it in the comments too, but I put 2 straw polls just because I was curious. Yes, World Beyond is airing right now. I watched it on AMC Premiere or Premium. I think it's Premiere. It's worth a skip. Just it's so bad. It's in the title of this video is aimed at World Beyond. They literally duck into a building to skip the budget, to hide from the budget. That's it. Yeah, and Fear was getting so bad, I just left. And if you get me, a lifelong zombie fan, bouncing, you have a problem. You have a problem. I am like your core. And here's the thing. I'm real loose when it comes to what type of story you're telling when it comes to something in the zombie genre. But as long as it's a good, solid story with good character development, maybe some new and interesting directions and not necessarily changing the lore. But you got me. And Fear did so bad, they lost me. I mean, they lost me hardcore. Now I came back, and the premiere episode was actually really solid for a Fear episode. And episode 2 had its flaws. I'm still nervous because there's red flags with episode 2 for Fear. But it was good. It was decent. And if the whole season was like that, then I think we're on to something. Now, episode 3 kind of slowed up a bit because I peeped what they were doing. It's similar to World Beyond. I watched World Beyond first, but it followed Dwight and, wow, I guess I forgot her name. It followed Dwight and the camera girl, and they essentially stall out the episode. They hit a couple ridiculous moments, like running into the people in the building, and the lady straight up said they were living there. Until that whole shit, I can't stand when they do shit like that. They're in a skyscraper. Now, I'll admit, maybe I missed it. You guys can clear it up. Did I miss it? Because they're in a skyscraper, and they've been there since the beginning. It's been almost like 10 years in their time. Even if it was a year, this is ridiculous. And she said they were higher up, but everyone got sick when they were trying to leave, and they only made it down to the 5th floor, which has me floored, pun intended, because where were you getting food and everything else? Where were you shitting and pissing, and where were you living in a skyscraper? You know what I'm saying? Like, and here's the thing is I've dealt with stuff creatively dealing with the storyline in my own comic that revolves around people trapped in a skyscraper, but we're talking like, starvation and issues that they got to deal with. Not like, not they're living there for years. So you guys are going to have to put it down below. Her name is Al. Well, that's fine. It just skipped my brain. Like I said, I skipped out on whatever season that was. Let's go back to, I gotta promote my comic or else I'm not gonna be able to do in these videos. Thea, yeah, that rings a bell now. But here is on the screen. Everyone is getting a free bonus prints and trading card and bookmark. We showed them off. Here is the trading card. Looks sexy. We put the order in. I'll be able to show this off in person in a few days when it finally arrives. The comic is at the printer. So you got the trading card. I already showed you guys the the bookmark. You already saw that. I think there's images too. Yeah, there's the bookmark right here. And then the issue is at the printer. I showed off the mini posters. If you're on the fence for Doomsday Kingdom, you got about another week to 2 weeks to give you good room. I think we bought a few extras, so if you show up at the very last moment, we might have something for you. So you don't lose hope because we bought a few extra. But if you want to get it and get it soon, jump on now, because as soon as we get it from the printer around October 30th to November 2nd, that's our estimated window. We're going to be shipping that immediately. That's $30 for about $60 to $65 worth of stuff. And that's just the bottom tier. You can get original art and everything else. Now, you can read issue 5 digitally, that finally released. That is here on the tab Digital Comics. You can also find some news over on the news tab. Like here's issue 5 information, volume information. We don't flood it a lot. Just we only talk about stuff when there's something to talk about. And then the production timeline gives you information about when we're producing. So you can look at all the different dates. And we are up to, 3,300 individual orders, successful transactions done. So we definitely are building up a reputation for being legit and on the up and up. So yeah, I think I showed off everything. Let me put the link one more time in the chat. I do want to play a little bit of the episode to show you guys kind of what we're working with here. Now, Fear the Walking Dead, I'll keep it simple. It went with a bluff with Althea making it to the Elizabeth, is that her name? The girl that works for the CRM. They went with that bluff and then ended it with something that was kind of convenient with Dwight running into Sherry. I'm glad they didn't run that out. This is the first episode Dwight is back. I think as far as charisma, the actor's hitting a home run there. On-screen presence and the acting and whatnot. Definitely keep him around, and his ties to the original show and other characters. When you see him change and then you see him come face to face with Negan again, that presents something that's interesting, an interesting dynamic. So definitely keep Dwight. Dwight's definitely one of the more interesting characters up there with Morgan and whatnot. Now, I did enjoy the reunion, and outside of that convenientness of it, with the radio and all that, just a chunk of convenience. I feel like I'm missing something. But again, it was a stalled kind of episode with some character building that was, in my opinion, I would say it's around a okay to like. I'm floating around a solid okay to like. I'm trying to think if there's anything that jumped out at me that was like, woof, oops, outside of people living in a friggin' skyscraper for years. The chick still has like a business suit on. See, that part those red flags make me so nervous. I'm just hoping it stays kind of good. We saw a little bit of Morgan, though. There was a little tidbit in there with Morgan not meeting up with Daniel, but they have some type of they're working on things, some type of partnership. Let's pull up this comment. You guys go and vote below. Aaron P. with a $5 dono. Too busy playing COD with a buddy. Zombie Royale is awesome. I'll rewatch the live. Hope you all had a great weekend. Neck deep. Thank you very much. Go neck deep in those zombies, brother. Thank you very much for the support. I appreciate it. And you could check the stream out later. Yeah, so that was pretty much Fear. Where is World Beyond? World Beyond was... Man, I don't even know if it's even worth it I just don't know. I don't even know, man. What episode? Okay, it was episode 4. The wrong end of the telescope. Now, the only thing major we need to discuss is after the credits. We'll get to World Beyond, but after the credits, they show this chick, and she's doing tests. The A and B. Now, here's where it kind of fell flat, because when Rick got picked up and she's like, oh, I have an A or I have a B or whatever it is, when she was going to have Negan get bit, she said the opposite letter, whatever they are, A or a B. And she said, oh, Rick is a strong one. He's a yada, yada, yada. We said, all right, they're doing experiments, and we were trying to come up with something creative, but we knew it had to be, no matter what, it had to be, they were doing experiments on the dead. So there's 2 letters. One's the living and one's the dead. However, we kept hope there was some sort of crazy creative twist that came up down the line. And nope. We waited all this time, and it's literally what it sounds like. Sure, they're doing experiments. They pick up sick people. They got, new people, fresh people. Now that we're seeing how big the operation is and how often they run into people, it kind of takes away why that even matters. The helicopter would have been like, okay, you got a survivor. Oh, big whoop. How strong could he be? Andy's injured and wounded? I don't know. Here is the last tidbit of kind of shock. I wish there was a fast forward button, but there's not. They show this right here. This is the girl's father, and that's the two adopted girls that are leads in World Beyond. That's their father. He has his arm around the girl that's doing the test, in my opinion. And this guy to the right is the fresh zombie right here. That's how it looks. Now, I don't know if they're trying to come up with something real creative, like that means more than what it seems, but it just seems to me that they were all living together. I'm not really sure why they're kind of in a relationship, unless it's something as simple as they're just in a relationship, living in this community. But the guy on the right must have got sick somehow and died, or an accident and died. The way it's filmed, though, is it's filmed to be more mysterious and deep. Maybe that's just me trying to read into it, but that was it. That's it. A 90-second clip in all the World Beyond is the only thing worth watching. You have these kids just bullshitting. They run inside a building. They find 10-year-old can of soda, and I did my research. Soda for 10, 15, 20 years actually does keep the carbonation, and it won't go bad because it's protected and sealed off. However, the flavor is going to be nah. And in this episode, they drink, 10-year-old soda, and they're like, that's delish, bitch. That's just not the case. It's not how it would pop off. What else? Real shitty bad dialogue. I mean, so bad here. It's as if they were writing it with the mentality of her being 9, and then they filmed it with her being not a child. Not... Well, I mean, the actress isn't a child. I think the character is supposed to be like under 18, but the actress is like in her freaking 20s. But you see what I'm saying? Like it's written as if it was a dad talking to a 9 or 10-year-old daughter. I'm not even sure if I would talk to my daughter in that way, because it's like he's talking to like a little kid. But yeah, here's the soda. So they find a soda and they're like, yeah, yum. That's all great stuff. They're building a relationship with those two, obviously. We have this wolf that poses a threat somehow. I mean, all this is just so terrible. The acting, the way it's written, the purpose, how everything comes together. Doors are just stuck. This kid, they go over this convoluted trauma aspect, and she has just terrible dialogue throughout it, especially right here. None of this. Yeah, they take a picture. Yay, that's who we are. Okay, blah. I don't. It's so bad. It's so bad. And here's the thing. It might not be totally bad, like quality wise, and I will admit, because that's reserved for other shows that are just like that. Quality is terrible. You can find proper effects, visuals. I mean, there's stuff that is done well and done right. Now, it's so bad, in my opinion, in the way that it's just boring. It's just so boring. I was actually angry that I wasted an hour of my... No, soda doesn't go flat in a can. You could go watch videos of 15-year-old soda, because it's locked off, sealed off in a can, so it stays carbonated as long as like there's no sun and like it doesn't beat around, shit like this. But for the most part, if it's just stored somewhere, it's gonna even be... It won't even get you sick. However, it's going to taste like shit. But yeah, so it's just so dull. It's just so bland and boring and dull. It shouldn't even have... Not only does it waste your time, it shouldn't even have the Walking Dead name on it. This is a brand. You can start to see how they thought, ooh, we're going to grip the younger audience with this. And then when it became whatever it is, you can see how they were like, or why they said, nah, you know what? We need to seal this bitch off. 2 seasons, we'll be able to make our money back and a profit. That's it. We're killing we're going to kill it after 2. We will use The Walking Dead and pimp it out as much as we can to get people to watch by connecting this to the finale, even though that kind of went to hell. And then because the ratings were the lowest in like ever. And then what we'll also do is we'll string them along with hints of Rick, and those aren't even hints with substance. We're back to Fear, like season 5, where you're going to get hints of Rick, and it's like, oh, look, they all wear black suits. Yeah, well, Wow, that's incredible. They got helicopters, they got matching symbols and black suits, and they're mysterious. Wow, wow, it was so worth watching all that. I'm going to put the link one more time to the screen polls in the comment box, and I'm going to see what you guys have to say. That was all my opinions on it. Anyone want to say something? Hit at Make a Path Presents so I can find your comments, and I know. Either come out your pocket with a super chat right down here with, oh shit, I can't super chat it, or at Make a Path Presents, it'll highlight it some. Don't mean to be an asshole, but I seriously fell asleep during watching the trailer. Wait, during watching the trailer. I had to rewatch and really stay focused to see what it's about. The trailer. You mean for the episode, so you didn't even watch the episode, I would imagine? Trailer's kind of quick. So what does A and B stand for? Alive and dead. That's it. I mean, they could probably come up with somebody who's bitten and gonna turn type shit, like freshly dead. But essentially, it's people who are alive that they can get labor out of, and then people who are dead that they're gonna do experiments on. Freshly dead, I would take it. As fresh as it gets. Because if you think about it, that's something that they can actually, that's a direction they could push the writing into. If it's been 10 years and they're still doing research, or they're just starting up research, or newly starting up research, because it takes time for them to build their community and all, it makes sense there wouldn't be a whole ton of fresh people unless their community's just dying over and over. But if that's the case and they need freshly turned people, and they're going to take out a community of 10,000 people at the campus, why didn't they just take prisoners, kill them off, and they got freshly turned test subjects right there? So they're going to have to explain that, because that's, right now, that's a huge plot hole. You know, why don't you just snatch people up if you need people to do experiments on? When would you say your love for the original series died? Season 6, episode 16, at the very last moment. That's probably when it literally got the crack that opened that began all of it. You know what I mean? I went on to love episode 7, nowhere near as much as I would have loved it if they just did it in one shot. That probably would have been the most memorable finale in the you know, one of the top finales in all of television for me, for my enjoyment, and how it affected me emotionally. And I talk about the emotional momentum. You can never repeat that. You can't. Once you get to a certain place and then you go, psych, cliffhanger, you're never, and it's not about, no, because I've seen actors say, oh, you can wait until find out who it is. That's not the point, though. It's the emotional momentum. You built them up to a place that you can't recreate artificially. And when you redo season 7, episode 1, that's literally what you're doing. You're bringing them back to the moment. And there's proof. We have evidence of that. Does it start with them dead right away and pick up where they left off? No. Why? Because they need to rebuild the emotional momentum. Done. That's enough proof. That is like objective, factual at this point. You can't jump into the episode and be like, pick up where you left off. Why? Because you got to rebuild the momentum, the emotional connection that you're, and they just lost it. They threw it away for a cheap ratings grab. Horror Movie Hustle with a dono. Thank you very much for the support, homie. What up, Ronnie? Have you checked out American Horror Story? I'm currently rewatching the series, and I think you might dig it. I'm going to be honest. One day, I may end up checking it out, but I don't like ghost stories. I don't believe in ghosts. And I know, like, zombies aren't real, but there's a difference, though. Like, I know we feel like we are real comfortable in, with technology and not being in a first world country or whatever. But one day it may come to a point where shit just gets ruined and we're living in ruins. Shit like that could happen. Is the possibility like really slim or maybe slim or whatever it is? Sure, but plagues could happen, viruses could happen, like all this shit. It might not be zombies, but there's shit that can happen. So there's relatable stuff that can happen. I just don't find anything whatsoever about ghosts and yada 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 at all. Even possessions. There's some things I find creepy. Like I think Hereditary has a real creepy vibe to it, done real well. at the very end reveal, I was kind of like, oh, all right, well, but I didn't hate it, but it just like kind of sucked the wind out of the whatever. But again, I may eventually get to it because there are creepy ideas within ghost related possession, and that encompasses a lot of that because I don't. I know I mentioned this before and someone said, oh, it's not all ghosts. I know, but if it's anything, in that whole, you know what I mean? I know back in the day I enjoyed Poltergeist when I was a kid. That like we used to make fun of that creature that was like shimmying across the rug. My mother'd be making dinner or whatever, and I would come downstairs and shimmy across the rug. She would turn around like, what the hell is that? And then shimmy back, and we were like, what's dinner? I'd have to watch that movie again to see what we were teasing about it. But again, I may get to it. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's going to take a real hot chick to sit down with me and be like, all right, let's watch a movie. I want to watch this. And I'll be like, fine. I was talking about World Beyond. I didn't watch it, just watch the trailer. Oh, gotcha. When would you say your love for... Okay, that's a good place to pick up. Right now, it's bad. Let me move this over. Can you guys see it right here? Let's cover their faces. Fuck your faces. Right now it's bad, but I think season 2, these characters are going to change. I hope they just cut the cringe out and get to the point they're trying to make a lot faster. A couple things there, right? They didn't have to do that, though. They could have started with characters that were a certain way. You don't have to be weak and helpless and new and fresh to fighting walkers. I don't understand why they keep repeating this shit. It's like the only thing they're capable of. Oh, because, and again, it's easy. I think it's difficult to write a character that knows how to deal with zombies and then twist the growth of that character, the character development. That's why we constantly see them repeating it. We're running into a new group. Oh, look at this. They're walled in and only have 1 or 2 that deals with it. They did it with The Farm. They did it with Alexandria, and that's on the main show. Same thing here. I don't think they should have started there. But now that they have started there, even if their characters suck all the way through season 1, even once they're badasses, you're missing a lot of that connection to the buildup of them becoming badasses. I'm not going to give a shit but if it takes till season 2. I'm just not going to care because you don't have a connection to the characters. Yo, Ronnie, you're the GOAT. Thank you very much. I hope that still means what I think it means. It does. I'm just teasing. Will we see Walking Dead release a movie in 2021? I don't know. I think the plan is late 2021 for a Rick movie, but I just don't know right now. Will the restock of issue 1 be improved version or the OG? Once we do the remaster, we will only sell the remaster. The OG is going to kind of get retired, and it'll become the rarest issue we've ever released because it'll be the one that only has a certain release. Everything else is getting 2nd, 3rd, 4th printing. The OG is only getting the 2 printings, and that's it. I think we even have 10 signature series of the OGs left. I think those will be the rarest if we're just talking about it because they're limited to 150. Yeah, the signature series. So I'm pretty sure we might still have them on the website, but if not, I do have to put some on. But we do have like 10 or 20 left, and then that's totally sold out. That's the signature series. We may even just go right into the remaster and push that out soon. So we'll see. It was the deer. American Horror Story is not all about ghosts. Yeah, I keep getting. Then what is it about? Because I keep getting that, but it's ghosts, possession, something similar. American Horror Story, the circus season made me stop watching. That shit was whack. Not every season is about ghosts. All seasons have their own creepy story. Yeah, I get those sentences, but I never get like a follow up. Like it's not about ghosts. Season 5 is serial killers. Like help me, lead me to the fucking pond. I don't know. Have you guys ever seen Mayhem? I got that movie out in the hallway. I found it at Walmart for $4. Stack of them, $4, and I was like, oh shit, $4. 4K, I'm buying it. So I bought it and I never got around to watching it. Glenn hated being on The Walking Dead, says who? Only character I remember beating a walker to death besides Silas was the governor all the way back in season 4. That's another thing. Beating a walker to death is pretty dumb. Now, I'm sure the way that they were writing it probably was like the head and the this and the that. But when you're wailing away, the last thing you want to do is punch them in the mouth. I mean, you're going to be pretty screwed. World Beyond was way too much sappiness. Every scene, emotional. Yeah, he didn't really hate it. He just wanted to move on after getting iconic death. Oh, gotcha. Do you think that another man versus Walker for fun, like they did at Woodbury? I think they're going to repeat everything eventually. I don't know if it'll be good, but I think they'll repeat everything. I know you said you're not into ghost stories, but you should really check out Haunting at Hill House. It's honestly one of the best shows I've watched. It's so well done. I have a family member I literally just told about that today. Literally today. And I said, everyone I know says that's a good show to watch. They're going to give me their opinion, and I may end up checking that out soon. So we'll see. I think World Beyond is alright. I can stomach anything Walking Dead, except I will admit that this show is not for the random viewer new to the universe. Oh, it's not for the random viewer. I have to agree, World Beyond is garbage. Season is already at its halfway mark, and it's too late to grow on any of the characters. Fear, on the other hand, is actually not bad. Considering how much you like Apocalyptic plus Snow, you should play Frostpunk. I think a TV show set in Frostpunk world would be awesome. I have never heard of Frostpunk. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe World Beyond sucks so bad it makes Fear look good. That is a possibility. Thank you very much for subscribing, Black Hawk. Black Hawk down, Hawk down, Hawk down. Is Fear sustainable as a show, only drawing 1.5 million viewers? For a certain length of time it is. But here's the tricky part. Something is up. There's something up. Because AMC doesn't have another project that's bringing in the same money that The Walking Dead is bringing in. However, they are the ones that pulled the plug on the main show. Which, again, it's odd because I know for us, we think, or for a lot of people, the way you think of shows, you're conditioned to hear all the time, new show got canceled, new show got canceled. But these are original shows, original series, usually, that either A, they're original and they don't have a fan base. So even if it gets canceled, it's done, it's zilch. And what they're going to do is instead of funding that show, they're going to look for another one that's going to make them, more money, hopefully. Or it's a comic book or something related TV show, and the comic book barely has a fan base, but it kind of does. And so even though it's canceled, there's not really anything there. The Walking Dead has a sustainable base already, a big base. If it was given to the right hands, like for example, if let's just say I can click my fingers and wish upon a genie and I'm in charge of the whole franchise right now, one of the first things would be like, all right, well, what year do you want to do the reboot? To see how far out they're going to do it. Not even just a reboot, hear me out a second, but one of the main things is get away from TV, so restrictions don't apply anymore as far as curse words, because that is one slick way to revamp it to where now you can get open the doors on cursing, nudity, violence, the type of story they're telling, yada, yada, yada. That's a fresh way to do it, where now other stories have the ability to come out. And you got to be real creative, though, what you're thinking before you go, curses and violence and tits aren't going to change anything, blah, 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 blah. You have to understand, imagine doing the Deadpool movie, but take out all the edge. It's not coming out. It's not going to happen. It's not as fly. It's not as successful as it was. It wouldn't have been as successful to get the second one. A part of that rated R rating was opening it up and allowing it to breathe and live in what it is, Same thing for The Walking Dead, where someone else could have an idea that needs you to lift those restrictions on nudity, any and all types, the cursing and the violence and gore. Because now when you have that lifted and it's not on TV, so that could be an angle where they're like, all right, we're going to do the movies and pimp them out and see what we can do with it. Because if they could take a Walking Dead movie and they need less going on, as far as like you take a whole season, you got all this time, you're doing the rounds and doing the promotions all the time. You take a movie, I think they're in the Georgia for like what, months filming it. You take a movie, you bring the actors in and you film for, some of them film for a couple days, and that's in a whole movie, and that's it. Bring in a couple side characters, a few days, and they're gone. Some of the principal, they come in, they film maybe a few weeks, and they're gone in under a month. And imagine if you take the money that the movie is making, and that's including the merchandise and the brand itself and everything else with deals and licensing and yada, yada, yada. It might be as sustainable doing a movie every now and then than it is with a show that's only pulling in like 1 million viewers. There's a lot of the details that I don't know, I'm not sure of, that I would, you would need to factor that in. But one of the first things I would do is immediately kind of do what they are doing. Get rid of the TV shows and go to a movie format and or something you can put on streaming that doesn't have much restrictions. And then see where we can go with capping off a final with the OGs, splintering off some of the mains, but then look at the end game of an official reboot, which it hurts to say, but we're talking about, at this point, it'll be anywhere from 15 to 20 years down the line, because we already hit the 10-year mark. By the time you map out the finishing of the OG season, the Rick movie, maybe a Michonne movie, and maybe, unless they're going to do it in the final season, which I don't know, that's up in the air. I'm not really sure if they're going to do that. I think it is possible to wrap it up. However, you're never going to put it down for good. You're always going to have this possibility of these characters. And with the way the world is now with marketing, and we're talking in entertainment, you can reboot it, and in 10 years, you can return to see what Daryl's doing. And fuck the reboot. Because it doesn't matter. Whatever. We have Halloween came out. Halloween 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we have Halloween come out again. That's forgetting about the sequel. That's the new sequel. It's the Halloween 2. Anyhow, in a world where that shit exists, it's pretty much open game. Hey, Ryan, just give a little bit of Polish Hayes thoughts on the new Witches remake, Cockadoo. I have no idea what that is. Yeah, I have no idea what that is. The new Witches? I hope Christian Slater's one of the stormtroopers at Commonwealth. Why Christian Slater? All right, last time for the polls, I do want to get this. I could have sworn I saw there it is. Horror Movie Hustle with another dono. American Horror Story is an anthology series, so each season is based, I knew that part, but I thought it was mostly ghosts, to be honest, is based around different horror subgenre. Ghosts, asylum, witches, vampires, etc. All right, so that's interesting. Okay, so one is vampires. I think I might be interested in that. The witches, that's one of those where it really kind of depends. Asylum, I'm not really sure if you just mean messed up shit in an insane asylum or something. And then ghosts, I may check it out to see. These are kind of my lower tier interests, except for vampires, kind of more up there. I'm into werewolves as well. That new Wolf of Snow Hollow is pretty decent. That's a werewolf movie. I may end up peeking at it. Not this month or nothing. I got too much going on, but I may end up. What is it on Netflix? When I'm looking for something and there's nothing to watch, I'll check out an episode. Can you, since it's anthology, can you legit skip seasons? I hope we get episode on season 11. They start growing marijuana. I don't know why they haven't already. Ghosts, insane asylums, circus, witches, 80s slashers, crazy political extremist cults, American Horror Story anthology. See, the 80s slasher, that's the first season I would watch. I'd be right there. What do you think they're going to do with Clem? Nothing for now. It doesn't look like Robert Kirkman is interested in continuing something comic-wise. So if there's a way to create a new video game with Clem as one of the leads, I don't know all the details of the contracts and whatnot and legal ownership. I believe it's just solely Skybound right now, but I feel like they should do something with Clem, but they may be a little apprehensive and wait to see if there's something that they can do that, is respectful to the characters and the character legacy, and if there's a future for where they go, because you don't want to bring Clem out of retirement just to do something shoddy. It was cheesy how Sherry finally showed up. Yeah, I'll agree there. But you know what? Sometimes cheesy is good, so fuck it, I liked it. Yeah, I agree there. They pulled the plug on the original show after they had already started filming Beyond, and then decided to end Beyond after 2 seasons, thinking ratings would be better. Yeah, I don't think you had a question there. But yes, that timeline seems to line up with what I know as well. End of season 3, Fear. I was thinking with water being more accessible resource, we'd see a more populated world in season 4. More communities like the stadium, either antagonists or not. Well, since it's all broken apart, I mean, I'm sure we'll see little tidbits. She's got different huge communities, right? I just finished watching a series called Slasher. I've seen some of that. It's an anthology about serial killers each season. Yeah, I watched that. There's some of that, though, that kind of gets a little, a little, I don't know. It's kind of like, it gave me the vibe where it's kind of flimsy. You know what I'm saying? It's not really serious. It does have a comedic but silly nature, uh, more lighthearted. I don't know. I even got like a Law and Order vibe, like week to week type, cheaply made. But I did watch a handful of episodes. I remember thinking I wish it was better though, but it wasn't. It wasn't terrible. Not that I remember. Who do you think will be the main death for Fear Season 6? I'm thinking John Dory or one of the minor leads, the trucker lady or Morgan Pryor. Oh, I have no idea. I stopped watching, so whoever they build up this season, like, it has to matter. If they killed the trucker lady, who cares? I don't know her. You know what I mean? Maybe y'all care about her. I'm not really sure, but we'll have to see who they build up. Do you think the final season of The Walking Dead, 16 episodes, will be enough to cover the Commonwealth arc? Well, it's going to be 24 episodes. So, because they're expanding the final season. Someone put down if it's definitely 24, but they're expanding it, so it's going to be more, maybe 22 or 24. Somebody correct me down below, but it's not 16. And yes, I think that's plenty because in our minds, we're really hyping up this huge ending, but AMC's beaten us in the head for years now. They're gonna show up. It's gonna be the Commonwealth with social hierarchy, and they're gonna try to incorporate some of the bullshit we have in our real society into the show because that's what you do nowadays. And they'll probably either end it. I don't know if they can end it taking it out. They'll probably end it with more hope of Maggie, whoever, taking over, helping to lead, and those characters are still alive and live on past this with a more hopeful ending. I have a feeling they'll go in that direction. Do you think the final season of all right. Last year I was thinking about bounty hunters. Like season 6 hired by the Proctors would be the main threat. Having our cast on the run and always seeing people as a threat. Antithesis of season 4. I think bounty hunters in the zombie genre is a good idea. They've done it before, bounty hunter like. Movies have done it before in a way. There's been similar stuff even in Land of the Dead, but I think there's a way to do it. Like I said, we're going to reveal something in Doomsday Kingdom that I think is a gold mine, a little tiny idea, just because it expands the possibilities of what you can do with storytelling in the zombie genre in particular. And we're talking about for the long haul, because we see a lot of stuff that's being repeated, and they're not really kind of focusing on immersion and the world building. They hit on it, here and there with stuff, but they don't just simply go, okay, let's really flesh out this world. I think the world building is something I'm leaning towards. Last year, as something that they don't do as much as, and they should. Last year I was thinking, all right, we already did that one. No, thank you very much, Marco. I'm glad you liked the content, buddy. I wish Magna would have Saw Beta's face. Would you like to see the Walking Dead live action miniseries, say episode... Wait. Like to see a Walking Dead live action? We already got a live action. That is based upon a specific story arc from the comics. We were playing our beloved characters. No. Yeah, I would like to see it if we already weren't doing shit now. Like, I don't want a random group of people that are going to look like cosplayers to just come in and do a arc. If they ever redid The Walking Dead, if they did something that was the comic exactly, I would want it to be done like The Last of Us Part 2. Video game style. You have the comic, either the comic story brought to the screen identical to the comic, but it's either done with voice acting and computer generated visuals in that way, like in a 3D way, not like in a cartoon way, or incorporate it into a video game somehow where you actually get to play characters in the war, the governor's war. You could be a witness to the governor getting killed. A witness to the events. You can even bounce around and play as the characters. But it's the story exactly. So it's kind of like a mix between take the visuals from Last of Us and the gameplay style, but bounce the story around between a few different characters, and a heavy focus on the story playing out. Now that I say that, I'm like, I don't know, because you're really kind of skirting the line. I would think I'm game for either a game that's a direct adaptation or a CGI, but I don't want real people doing it. I don't want live action. What are your thoughts on 30 Days of Night? I just watched that the other night. It was decent. I didn't like it when I was growing up. I wanted more action. And there's still stuff in it that I'm kind of like, that's a little humph. Like they made the vampires too strong. And I noticed that when I was younger, but I couldn't put my finger on it. But now that I'm older, I can pinpoint it exactly. And it's because when the vampires are really overly strong, our heroes end up just hiding. And it's not fun. It's not interesting. Thoughts on Boys Season 2? For me, it was okay. Some parts were really good. Some parts were okay. Do you think Daryl and Negan will tell the survivors who Beta was? Nah, I don't think so. I hope no main character dies next episode, especially Dunn. I think it's too early for deaths. Would The Walking Dead be better if a streaming service like Netflix or HBO or something like that be better for The Walking Dead with a larger budget? Well, I don't know about Netflix. I used to say, Netflix is the spot to be, but now that they're putting all their ideology into what they're making, I think one of the head people in Netflix even came out and was talking about how that's the future. It should essentially be like activists movies, and they put it in a weird way like that. It might be somebody else, or like Hulu or something, but I'm almost positive that was Netflix. When I heard that, you lost me, bro. No, I think everyone should pull out, and because what you're doing is you're restricting the storytelling. Doomsday Kingdom doesn't have anything. I'm not trying to feed you guys propaganda bullshit. I want your emotions. I want to be able to weave in there and play with, finger all your little emotions and get you to feel different things connected to the different characters, get you excited, get you hopeless, get you happy, get you sad. It's all about hitting those emotional G spots. It has nothing to do with me trying to con you into not being racist. Just do that on your fucking own, and don't be. How about that? All right, now let's move on to telling good stories. So I'm not really down with. Let me double check, make sure that was Netflix. But as far as HBO, as long as they're running it right, I think The Walking Dead would be better, not just on HBO, but because AMC is not going to give it up unless somebody pays them big money, and they might be the best, but they would probably need a lot of money plus a plan B, Like if they were just about to get a license for a new series, maybe they would sell it, but for them, they could probably run it out for years and still make money off it. I think HBO would be promising because you don't have the same restrictions. Austin, any plans to restock Doomsday Kingdom? Issue 4 should be in stock, but if you mean 1 through 4, not right now, but we will once we ship out the volume. If you want 1 through 5, I mean, if you want, you would save money by just getting the volume. Get it on Indiegogo. We just don't have a team to ship, so we can't have everything in stock and shipping out all at the same time. To be honest, if it wasn't for COVID, because COVID shut our printer down for like 7 months, our first printer for 1 to 3. If it wasn't for COVID, we would have everything stocked and shipping at the same time. But because of COVID and now things opening back up, we're just not in a position to go and buy all the stock for issue 1, 2, and 3, stock it up, maintain the website, but also deal with what we're doing for the volume. So if you want the story, grab the volume. If you want the floppies just to collect with the covers and whatnot, you can, and keep in mind, the cover art is included in the volume separately in mini posters. That's on Indiegogo. But if you want the floppies because you collect comics, just hang in there. Maybe next month when the volume is all shipped out, we're going to go ahead and start restocking. Oh, wait, I missed this. Horror Movie Hustle with another dono. Can you skip seasons on... Oh, you can skip seasons on American Horror Story. It's on Netflix, and I finally read the first issue of Doomsday Kingdom. Loved it. Ordering the volume, great work. I'm happy to hear that. If you loved it, I'm going to start... Because I always try to be a little too... I always fall back a little bit and not try to... Because, of course, I'm going to say it's a great story and I want you to read it. But I am incredibly proud of what we were able to put together for issues 1 through 5. And that's the first volume. Not only in the artwork. If you liked issue 1, the artwork gets better in issue 2, 3, 4, and even better in 5. And it continues to get better. And then if you did enjoy 1, it, in my opinion, has a solid... what's the word I'm looking for not just build up world building, but a solid tease and mystery to the world without spoon feeding and beating you in the head with all these simple things. Like there's a lot that you're going to have to just wait until, you pick it up in issue 2, but you got to wait till issue 4 to, oh, okay, that's what that means. And then here's what that means. A lot of that was purposefully done. So when you reread it, hopefully you'll pick up on 2 or 3 things that you missed the first time. So there's a lot of little nuggets in there that's built into the writing. But I'm really, really proud, story and art, of how the first volume comes together from beginning to end, and how it bookmarks each other. For a first volume, I'm incredibly proud of that. And again, when we do the spoiler review type of, not review, but discussion, when you guys all get the volume, I'll be able to show you a couple more things, especially visually. There's a full circle with it visually, because there was a lot of passion that went into bringing this project together. Maddie, I'm still not over the fact that they ignored their season 3 cliffhanger. It had me excited for the next season. After season 3 was, in my opinion, the best. See, that's the thing. See, that's why sometimes we perceive things differently than how the creators are doing it. Like even Doomsday Kingdom, we made a random character named Mullet Man, and everyone freaking loved him. We had no friggin' idea. You know what I'm saying? So then we had to turn around and go, well, we need to do something special for like the last time we see Mullet Man, because he was just a throwaway character in a really cool, like, bloody scene. So we gave him props on a cover. So with the cliffhanger, for them it was a way to just let new showrunners come in and kind of do whatever they wanted. That's where their mind was at. But then the fans were seeing it in a different way, and they were like, oh shit. So I get you, but it's just, different eyes laying on the same thing. Hopefully you guys have voted. We're going to look at the straw polls. Let me bring them in here. We have the Fear straw poll, and then we have the World Beyond straw poll. We'll look at last chance. Go and vote. I'm going to vote, and we'll pull up what you guys voted on. Will you abandon World Beyond? Because at this rate, the show is a dumpster fire. I am close to being done with World Beyond. Yes, absolutely. I just think it would serve the channel and you guys better if I put my focus into editing more of the Flaw and All reviews and doing them instead of World Beyond. It doesn't make sense for me to just come on here and shit on World Beyond all the time. It's just bad. It's not going to get better. Do you have plans to adapt a TV show of Doomsday Kingdom? If all of a sudden the comic gets bigger and it becomes mainstream like The Walking Dead. Even if it blew up, I don't have the connections of the money or any of that to turn it into a TV show. That's just not how Hollywood works. I think we say this every week. I don't know. I'm hoping we'll probably put a sign up to let everyone know. Hollywood doesn't work like that. You give off the rights or sell them off, and they will let you know if they want you involved in any which way or shape or form. It just doesn't work like that. Unless I was a billionaire or even a millionaire, multi-millionaire tomorrow, sure, I would finance it myself. You know, what the hell? I believe in it. I would love it. That would be fucking amazing. But I'm not, and I'm not gonna be, unless maybe I sold the rights. But that's the catch-22. So it's up to whoever buys the rights to let us in on it. We have no say in it. Hey, Ronnie, have you read Ice Cream Man comic? I think you would really enjoy it. It's kind of a psychological horror that hits the fears neck deep. No, I have no idea. Who writes it? Who publishes it? Where's it at? Just got done watching Fear. Had it recorded. So did the one woman that group stay in the building since the start? That's what I said. Were they in the building the whole time? Because she had her work clothes on for like a decade. She said they were there for a decade. She said they made it to the 5th floor as they were trying to leave the building and then they got sick. So I don't know, man. Do you think Morgan charisma and good writing can make the Fear the Walking Dead watchable? No, because even with Morgan's charm and charisma, I stopped in season 5. I stopped. So no, he can't solo save the show. It has to have good story too. Did you like the Boys movie? Movie or show? Oh, Lost Boys. My bad. Yes, I did like Lost Boys. Ancient's Hell, we can get alternate timeline. No, there's no alternate timeline. No, they're not doing that. That's for like, superheroes and shit. Will you keep the spines of the future volumes the same? My OCD always kick in when the spines of TV shows and books are the same. Well, we don't have anything on the spine, so the volume will always be straight black Doomsday Kingdom, and then there's like a red square with the number on it. So that's probably what we're going to continue to do throughout the whole thing. I don't think we're going to change it up. I don't even think we'll change up the color because that would look kind of ridiculous, color-coded tabs, but for what reason? So it'll probably stay the same. Sleek black 1 through whatever we do. Do you think it'll be like any more like Satellite falling from the sky? Well, I'm not really sure why they would do that again. If they have a reason to, maybe, but I'm not really sure why they would. So I'm going to say no. Will you keep... Okay, I already did that one. Thoughts on the modded weapon Morgan has? I don't know, you said something about it earlier, just joined. I don't remember saying anything about Morgan's weapon, but sure, fine. I like him having that, not a stick. That dialogue was kind of cringe, though. They should stop that. The dialogue in Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead, when they do this whole... this is what we want the fans to know, so we're just going to have the characters talk about it. Like, oh, I'm afraid that I'm going to be... Who the fuck talks like that? For real. Who says, like, oh, I've changed? I don't know if they'll recognize I changed. Cut that shit out, man. Life isn't as poetic as you want the Walking Dead show to be. All right, let's stop it. Can't you have a grandma character named Spin who isn't immediately killed off so I can be in it? Laugh out loud. No plans as of yet. Ronald, do you genuinely fear sharks? Absolutely. If so, would you ever go deep sea diving with a great white? No, fuck no. Did you hear about Keanu Reeves' new comic? Yes, I heard about it. I'm not interested though because it's set up to where if you back it online, you get it last or some shit like that. If it comes out in stores, I'll check it out. If it's good, I'll stick with it. If not, I'm done. Fear isn't 10 years in. It's only 2 to 3. I'm calling bullshit on that. You're going to have to... Yeah, that's factually incorrect. That is factually incorrect. Don't forget, Morgan left after All Out War. Go back and... Can we lock that down? Can we lock that down to a specific point? When did Dwight go? Dwight was after All Out War as well. All right, I will compromise and meet you halfway and say not 10 years. 10 years would be like the main show, because we don't know if they skip the same amount of time. I will compromise and say sure, but there's no fucking way you're going to get me to believe it's only 2 to 3 years in, even when I think Lori's going to be 9 months pregnant, giving birth, and then when Morgan and Dwight left, the kid was like 4 years old. There's no way I'm going to believe that. They're definitely somewhere around 5 years in. There's just no way. Again, I'm pretty sure we can lock this down to a number close, but there's no way I believe it's 2 to 3 years on Fear. There's no way. But I'll walk that back though. It ain't 10. The Walking Dead's 10. But I still feel like Fear is like 7, somewhere around there. That might even be a little much, but there's no way it's 2 to 3. What are your top 5 horror movies to watch on Halloween? Top 5 to watch? Well, I don't watch 5 horror movies on Halloween day. But like in the month of Halloween, I like to watch like Friday the 13th, Trick or Treat. I tend to watch that every year. Friday the 13th, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, but not always. I mix it up some. There was... And we're talking the OGs. I've never watched like Halloween 3, for example, ever. I'm going to watch it soon, though. But there's always new ones. Each year, I have my select that I watch every year. But I always look for like new ones to check up on. Like the Wolf of Snow Hollow I just talked about. That was a newer one. This year, I haven't had time to watch much. Have you noticed that Alicia has been in the background so far? Yeah. Is that intentional, just trying to push to Morgan? I don't know if it's intentional, but I don't know why they're doing that. It's not 10 years, around 4 or 5. Yeah, weird that's only been 2 years. I think we'll be able to lock this down. Lock it down to a certain number. All right, let's do the poll. I think I gave you guys plenty of time to vote. Now, Fear the Walking Dead, this is a tricky one because I'm in the middle of it's okay and like. Just to be nice, I'm going to give it a like. Because again, I'm in the middle. It did kind of feel like they stalled out a bit, but we did get a little bit of stuff, but just not a whole lot. And that people living in the skyscrapers just really stupid, I thought. But because I expected to absolutely hate Fear, I'm going to give it a like. So we'll vote on that and see the results. Show results. Like 40%, 43%. Love is a 32%. Okay is 13%. Hate is 6%. And dislike is 4%. That seems about right. I can see that. There's a lot more love, I'll be honest. We're getting a lot more love than I expected, but maybe that's people that are really enjoying the flow of the season and they were really into these characters. And, look at this. Here, Fear the Walking Dead. How was this episode? World Beyond. How was this slop? Season 1, episode whatever. I forgot what episode. I'm going to say coma. Hate. It put me in a hate coma. That's my vote. Excuse me. And let's see. All right. Hate. Hate coma friggin' takes it with 36%, but we also have a tie of 33% hate. We have 12% that liked it. We have 12% that thought it was okay or meh. That's supposed to say meh, not me. And then we have 6% that loved it. Only 2 people loved it. I'm glad you loved it. I'm glad there was at least 2 people that loved it. One day, if you feel like getting into a love and hate, comment war, it's going to start a comment war, but I would love to hear what you loved about it, and not in like a condescending way either, like, what could you love about it, but genuinely, what did you love about it? Because I'm just not seeing it. But look at that. That's a big pie of dislike. Well, we could get something different. If I did a poll on Twitter, or if anyone did a poll on Twitter, you might get a different result. I think Twitter seems to lean a little more towards liking it from what I've seen. I've seen a handful of people that just don't. I've seen reviewers even. I think I've seen 2 reviewers that just straight up like more episodes than I do overall that did not like these 2 episodes at all. So episode 3 is a must-watch as a horror fan. It's subjective whether or not. I think I'm going to like it now because I don't have any of those expectations. I know it's not Michael Myers. I'm up for just a different, I kind of know a little bit about it just from hearing it over all these years. I don't know how to gauge who would win a fight. I'm gonna be ending soon. AP, thank you very much for the donut, homie. I'm back. How long are you streaming? Yeah, because I am finishing the season 6 script. Not finishing it, but I'm finishing typing some of it because the artist is diving right into issue 6, and I gotta have a few more pages for him to do layouts. At the point Fear's going, be the only Walking Dead show still on, since the main one ending and The World Beyond only has 2 seasons unless they decided to end Fear. It may be the only show, yeah. I mean, that's also tricky because just because it had 3 solid episodes, even if it had half a solid season, you're talking about full seasons that were going downhill. So is this a fluke? Is it worth keeping alive? I don't even know what their plans are down the line, so I'm not really sure. Ronnie, my youngest girl, says hi to you and Juliet. Tell her I said hello, and I'll tell Juliet later that you said hello. Thank you very much for saying hi and stopping by. I stopped watching Fear the Walking Dead halfway last season. Would you recommend watching it again for season 6? Yeah, I would say jump in it. If you like the first episode, that'll give you an idea if you're going to enjoy what comes after for sure. Halloween stream for part 3 would probably be a good one to do streaming. Who are those 2 people? I don't know what 2 people you mean. If they continued season 3 and had the Clarks as protagonists, Whisperers, and at the same time season 9 and 10 with the Whisperer War, it would have been a good duality. More poetic than Morgan. See, here's where I'm going to have to say no, just simply because a big part of the Whisperer interest was how they get introduced. Now, I know in the show it is brief. It's like, what, 2, maybe like 2 episodes where they have the sounds. And I know there's a lot of us talk about the episode before it comes out, but you have to realize there's like 50,000 of us on the internet that are active online and going back and forth. There's millions, a million that watch the show. There's hundreds of thousands. So there's more that would be surprised by it than already know it coming. So in that way, I don't think it makes sense to set up the Whisperers and then also have it a surprise on the show, because it wouldn't be a surprise. We would already know, oh, there's whispering. Well, it's got to be them. You know what I mean? So I think that's just a personal taste type thing. Because of the low standards of Fear Walking Dead, I could say I'm enjoying it so far. Yeah, I hear that. World Beyond should not go beyond season 2. They'll be lucky to have that. Well, I think right now they can't because they already put it out there. It was going to be 2 seasons. Plus, it's been pretty bad. I thought Al have a solid performance and random chick change your shank dress. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that, yo. Do you like time travel shows? Yeah, I do. Well, I don't know about shows. Movies, unless you mean the same thing. I like time travel movies, sure. I'm hesitant just because I haven't seen a lot that are really good, but I do enjoy them. I do really like them if we get good ones. And I'm not big on messing with like the paradox, I don't really care about how time, like Looper, I don't get hung up on what they do in the past, it affects the future. Like, I don't get hung up on that shit. When it comes to time travel ones, I just really try to have fun with what changing something in the past is like, or characters going back to the past. I have a lot of fun with that. So it's easy for me to kind of just go with it unless it's real stupid. For Looper, it's cool when they're cutting the dude up, even if it's a plot hole, and his fingers are falling off and all that. The way Looper plays out, I really like that movie. I think that's one movie I always talk about that I do really like, that I don't know anyone else that likes it. Oh, I didn't talk about the plague really on Fear. I saw that as kind of like a more of a tool for the story, and I didn't really care for it. I will correct you though. You said it's being airborne to some and not to all. Symptoms showing in minutes and people being okay after taking antibiotics. I mean, it's a TV show, so they have to show they took antibiotics. Some are going to still die, but some are going to live. Yay. They got to do that. That's the whole point of, visually showcasing what we're not going to see because the episode is over. But another thing, that's just simply not true. And I almost missed it too. But the dude was showing symptoms, and I thought, wait, you got symptoms already? And they made a comment saying, well, wait a minute, it takes a day or two to show symptoms. And he said, yo, there was a rat in my sleeping bag like 2 days ago or a day ago. You know what I mean? So it wasn't from the building, it was from earlier. That's why Dwight had the on his neck. And yeah, they didn't need all that shit in there. It was just kind of added conflict filler. Oh no, he's sick. Oh no, they're sick. Oh no, we're doing this. Some of that is the weaker part of the episode. But I will admit it's not as plot holey as you made it seem. You might have just missed the conversation. And about the antibiotic thing, yeah, like I said before, they have to show that. They could have done a better job, but it's good to finally see Sherry again. Yeah, she's a little cutie. Man, it should have happened seasons ago or something. It should have. I think she was on another show though. That was probably part of the problem, because she took a show as a lead, and it was like a show that's not on a TV but on like one of these side like weaker streaming services. You could look it up. It might have been on TV but also on one of them, but The Dark isn't over yet. I don't know what you mean by Dark. Oh, Dark is a TV show. I've tried it 3 times. I can't get past the first couple episodes. I don't know what it is with that show. Heard good things about Dark. Was confusing, a lot going on. Oh, we got a big baller coming in. Fear the lowered budget. Cheers, Ronnie. Fear the lowered budget. Thank you very much, Black Rose, for the $10 hookup. I will say they definitely either fear the lower budget or they were hiding from that bitch, because they went right in that school and that was it. They were probably filming on like a studio lot somewhere. They slapped a set together, used an old set. I wouldn't be surprised if they used an old set. There is one thing about Fear. Let me put on this for 1 second. There is one good thing about Fear I did enjoy. The dead SJW that was, well, that sounded wrong. The internet SJW warrior, right here. This part I did actually like. Like, no sarcasm, no bullshit. Purple hair girl. It clearly looks like a wig here, though, and they didn't give her like darker roots to make it look a little more realistic, but oh well. It is World Beyond after all. This, if you don't know, it was just a little moment, but you have younger kids that are 20 pretending to be 17, 16, but they're supposed to be that age, supposed to be high school age. They live in a post-apocalyptic world, but they live in a world that is mocking what the old world used to be. Not mocking it like ha ha ha, but mocking it like reliving how it used to be, similar. Anyhow, somewhere along the way, they do this really corny dance scene. Yeah, here it is. They do this really corny dance scene. What the fuck? Come on. Yeah, so here's the girl with the purple hair. Sabina James, most likely to march to the beat of her own drum. Now, who would that be? That would be her sister? Maybe. That could be what they put in there. Well, this Sabina, why couldn't you just call her Sabrina? Is Sabina, is that even a real name? Sabina James. Well, as they're leaving, and again, you make this connection with kids that are a high school age. They had that, where I'm looking for it here. They had that worlds, so you make that connection from A to B. She might even be wearing the same shirt. They probably should have put her in something different, because it looks like she showed up. No, because that wouldn't even be the actor. It would just be like a puppet. So that doesn't even matter. But anyway, so she sees her in the yearbook. Young kid has the world. This is a visual of the old world, the youth of the old world, the future of the old world, symbolically. I don't think they even thought about anything symbolic. I think they thought it was just like a cool moment. But this is children of the future, right? So this is a visual of the future of the old world. And then on the way out, she sees that future dead on the ground. Like there's that sadness there, and there's that yada, yada, yada. And you could pull some of that symbolism, like their future ended because this outbreak, the zombie outbreak happened. So in a way, it's there's like a double beat to it. But I dug that little moment. I think that was probably the only moment in the whole episode I liked. There was this, I wish I could play little chunks of it, because this was bad. I mean, the dialogue here, the interaction here. I don't know, man. That's just bad. I'm trying to get to this. How early did they do it? Oh, is it right here? Yeah, see, so kids were having some type of dance. Where is it at? And then the characters find the old soda. They drank it. I think they said it tasted good. That's not how that works. That's 10-year-old soda. Well, okay, wait. Yeah, in this it's 10-year-old for sure. I was thinking of Fear. But yeah, so now they're like, oh, let's dance. I think this is where it gets ultra cringe. And the concept isn't bad. If you came to me and said, yo, we're going to do this scene where they dance, and it actually kind of morphs into what life could have been like. The concept there is like, you know what? You can make that work. But the way they do it, I don't know, man. Stuffed up, yo. All this bullshit. I don't even think what's his name, Silas, the actor, is doing a terrible job. Yeah, they do this real shitty filter. Looks like a music video from the 90s. There's a part that connects to the concept of what that is that I don't hate, but just the way it's done, I was like, this is dreadful. World Beyond is a dumpster fire when you got Trev's Chan hating on it and giving it a low rating. Oh, really? He doesn't like it either, huh? That's bad. I'm not really sure if a lot of people are gonna really hate on it. I'm sorry, gonna love on it. Gonna love it because it's like, yo, yikes. She was. Yeah, the same shirt doesn't matter because it's a puppet, so I don't think it would matter. Only good thing on Fear tonight was the Dwight and Sherry reunion. I know you're not into romance, but they waited long enough. It's fine. It's tricky because with Athena and the Elizabeth, for me, there's nothing there. They're building on this whole romance thing, and I'm like, you're just wasting my time as far as watching something that's enjoyable. With Dwight and Sherry, we already have stuff that's built in there, and it felt a little more organic. The way we were introduced to it, the story that was wrapped around it. With Negan, I think they didn't do that good of a job overall telling that story and how it played out. But there's more there where you're kind of interested and curious to see what direction it takes. And the characters too, as far as coming together, what's going on. But if you think about it, with Athena, I didn't buy into their relationship. It felt rushed and hollow. So now you have Dory and June, Althea and the girl in the helicopter, and then what's his name? Morgan and Grace and Dwight and Sherry. We're starting to be nothing but romance. It's getting to be like, bro. Iris stealing all that food. Silas is Australian in real life. Yes, I played teen cinema well late in the 20s. Yeah, it is very common to play older, get filmed younger. Any game I understand it when it comes to like Friday the 13th. Because there's a bunch of tits in that. So if you're casting kids that are supposed to be like 17, 18, you don't want to actually cast 17, 18. You want to make sure, especially with the material and nudity and sex scenes, maybe you're even casting mid-20s. So you got someone that's a little older, a little more life experience, that are a little more comfortable with. And even at that age, some of the women in the behind the scenes, some of them just aren't comfortable with it. And I think that's fine. The only ones I will say that is annoying are the females, and they'll openly, if you watch enough behind the scenes, they know they're gonna get criticism for it, but they're like, oh, I lied and said I was down, I was fucking like, let's go, I love being naked. And then when it came time to film, I was all like, oh, I don't want to. At that point it's kind of like, well, then fucking go, get off the set, get someone else in here. On the flip side, I was never really big on that either. So it's not like a get out of here, bitch, I want to see someone's tits. In my eyes, I think that just wastes my time. Like if it's a slasher, I want to see the slash and I don't care about tits, man. Get it out of here. It's just wasting my time before the killing it comes. But what if it gets to killing here quicker? Whatever. What if Sherry got a kid by Negan, but she doesn't? Sabrina is a German name. Sabina is a German name. Yes, and I've known a couple. Really? I could see if it's a name from another country. I could buy that. I just don't know why they didn't just do Sabrina. It looks like a misspelling. It doesn't matter, though. I think her name was Isabel, and Al and Isabel connection was weak. But I think the whole point was the Dwight thing and not the AI thing. Well, yeah, it was kind of like a mislead. Alan, Athena, and Isabel, or Isabella, whatever her name is, it was to distract us. And then the mislead was like, oh, look over there. Nope, they're not getting together. Boom, bring in Sherry. Because then you're focusing on, the story going this way, and then they bring in Sherry. I honestly thought they were going to bring her in after they set up Dwight. I'm kind of glad they brought her in right away. Because this is the first episode that Dwight was in, right? So they brought Dwight back for the season, or we returned to him story-wise. And boom, they bring Sherry right in. Let's get it over with, I should have fucking guessed it, though, because they showed a picture of the actors on Instagram, and they were in an alleyway. I should have fucking guessed it. My brain should have clicked on that it was going to be this episode. Where do you think Herschel's pocket watch is at? I don't know. Who had that last? I know it's with Maggie, shouldn't it be? They showed it a few times. I agree with your point, maybe till the end of season 9, but didn't they tease it in season 2? It'd be cool if Nick could have appeared as the guy covered in blood at the Commonwealth in the comics. I'm not really sure at what point we were discussing that, but I think it's only cool if they did something with Nick all throughout the story until that point. Like just having a character from one episode appear on the from one show appear on the other show, for me, I just don't find that interesting. It has to be like a character we like and we follow, and then I can agree with you. Yeah, that'll be interesting. All right, any last minute, I don't know, anything, questions, discussions to pop in the chat? Because I really do want to get at least a half an hour done of scripting, and then I could go to bed and tomorrow bang out, not bang out, but get banging on Friday the 13th, Flaw and All. I'm desperate to get that. My plan is I'm dying to get 2 Flaw and All Halloween style, like Friday the 13th and something else. 2 Flaw and All is done before our book gets here, because then when I start shipping the book, it's going to be, friggin' hours each day just to get that out. Because the first day the book gets here, I'm going to have to spend like 4 hours just getting the package shipped to the UK. I got to go through the order, make sure everyone's order that's getting shipped to the UK is included, and that's all your bonus stuff and yada yada yada. I got to wrap it, make sure it's proper, make sure we get it shipped in the right box, into the right amount, the right weight. That's going to be hours just doing the UK box. So that's day 1. And then day 2, I'm going to go right into boxing up, let's say 100 packages, single packages. And then that day we'll be just shipping out. Actually, you know what? I got to look at the list. I'm going to look at the list because they're split between tiers. I forgot. It was a spoiler pick. Well, I didn't see that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was. We're talking months ago. They released, when they were promoting Fear, they released Dwight and Sherry holding hands. There was one there where they were holding hands. I don't know if that one is in the alleyway or not. And then there was another one where now that I think about it, I could have sworn it was in an alleyway. But if you go back and look, there's definitely. Let me look. You should be able to find that. Dwight and Sherry Fear. Walking Dead. Let me see. Yeah, image. No, that was from. Oh yeah, right here. Here's one that they shared. Right here. You can see on the screen. Okay, so this might be the one I'm thinking about. So it's not in the city, but it's in something that I still probably should have got. Because as soon as you see this, you think, because they're not in the woods. If they were in the woods, I'd be like, oh, it's whatever. I don't really see them filming many city scenes. What is that? Oh, that's Al. So when I typed Dwight and Sherry, that's what came up. That's what they put on Instagram. So they spoiled this. If you didn't see it, they spoiled it a long time ago. Am I looking forward to the next Fear episode or just meh? I'm just meh. It's still doing good, but again, it's good based on last season was dog shit, and I was expecting this season to be dog shit and to just stop. And then it surprised me. So it's at a point where it is good, but it's not at a point where it's like I'm hooked and I need to see what's coming. They could delay it for 3 weeks and I probably wouldn't even care. And then whenever it came back around, I'd be like, all right, let's check it out. Any gaming streams or something on this Ronnie Hayes channel, i.e. Punk 2077? I'm not really sure. I don't know what I'm doing about Cyberpunk. I'm just not sure. We may do something. I got to look and see what month that comes out. When does it come out? Cyberpunk 2077 release date. Nope. Release date. Fuck you, bitch. Oh, that's where it is. 2020. That's it? 2020? You gotta be kidding me. November 19th, 2020. All right. There may be enough time to get shipping done. I don't foresee many delays like popping up. there shouldn't really be anything popping up delaying it. So shipping should be done. Let's see what happens, because I'll be real with you, it's a little bit tight right now to get into buying new games for the stream. So we'll see. Remind me when we get closer to it. All right, but yeah, I'm out of here too. Thank God I didn't see it. I hate that spoiling bullshit. That's the thing, is they get desperate, and instead of us, I put a tweet up saying, remember when Morgan was a complete shock surprise after the credits of, what was it, season 5 or season 6? No, it was season 4, because he showed up at the end of season 4, beginning of season 5. And I was like, yo, remember when that was a total surprise? They filmed it in secret. They did all this in secret. That's how you know they're desperate, when they're taking their secret surprise reveals and they're using it as promotional material months before the episodes air. That's when you know they're desperate. Terminator Dark Fart is another example of desperate marketing. When you watch that movie, you know they knew we're in trouble, because all the major stuff is in the trailer. All the scenes where they fight the other Terminator, the scene where Arnie reveals, does his reveal. All of that. I think there's one thing that was left out, and that was in like the first 10 seconds. So I quit smoking the vape in the house. Yeah, I quit smoking. I'll be honest, I hit the vape, outside once in a while. But yeah, I quit that shit up. That was, yeah. I would highly recommend no one to vape in their house either. Don't vape at all. Don't. It's fucking dumb. Because you're using an oil-based thing for vaping. I mean, if you're not OCD like me, I like all my shit to be organized, clean, and yada, yada, yada. But when you vape, you're burning oil. So that oil, when it evaporates and it gets off on your shit, it kind of leaves like a slick dust after a while. The moment I found that out, I was like, I forget, I went to clean something, and it was like a slick dust, and I was like, that was it. The vape stopped immediately, and I scrubbed from top to bottom everything in my fucking office. It took like a week. Yeah, that Morgan reveal in season 5 was peak Walking Dead. Yes, it was. All right. Have a good night, guys. Remember to be safe. I'll see you here next Sunday for more World Beyond, unfortunately. And luckily, if Fear the Walking Dead stays good, we got another good episode. And whoever jumped on to Indiegogo to back Doomsday Kingdom, thank you very much. You just put us up at 350. I will say we were going to wait for 3,000 to do another upgrade where all books will come signed. I think we may just do that anyway. Now, here's the thing. You'll be signed on the inside. There's going to be an inside buffer page. So when you open the book, it'll have a white page that just says Doomsday Kingdom. And then the back page will have my name and James's name. And then it's going to get into the story. All pages have those buffer pages just because of the way they bind them. And it just looks nicer, how it presents itself. So we were going to wait. If we hit 13K, I was just going to sign all the books. They'll be on the buffer page, not the cover, and not on the artwork, so on the inside page. I think we may just do that. Let's say if we hit 12.5, I'll just do it anyway. So maybe in one of the update videos coming up, I'll just let y'all know. We hit 12.5, everyone's book, no matter who ordered, it's going to get that signature in the inside buffer page, plus all the other items included. Maybe I'll do a little mini update when the trading cards come in. And what else? Anything else physical that we're waiting on? We got the trading cards, the 5 posters you're getting, and then the bookmark. I have those. We're just waiting on the book. And we're waiting on, this is kind of neat. I bought this. I had to look special for this bitch. Hold up. If anyone else is doing what's it called? If anyone else is doing crowdfunding for comics, your trade paperback is going to be about this size, that thickness, right? Around there. For something that's 128 pages, that's what we're doing. So this is about 128 pages. And then you have the free posters. You're getting 5 free posters. So I went and found, I thought this was fantastic. You're getting the bookmark and the trading card. But I went and found, in order to ship it cleanly, these are called bubble bags. And they are the perfect size. I ordered a few hundred of them. They'll be here in a few days in the mail. So you take your prints. Everyone's going to get, I'm going to make a video of this before we start shipping when all the product comes in the mail. So we're going to take your prints. You're going to take your book. This is all example stuff. We're going to take the bookmark, the trading card, and then you put it lovingly in the bubble wrap. Shabam. Put it lovingly in the bubble wrap bag. And again, it'll have the premium upgrade paper and the spot UV. It'll come signed, inside page, in the bag, and then it goes in. Why didn't I grab this shit? And everything's going to go in a Gemini mailer. That's one of these bad boys. You pop it in the mailer. Because of the bubble bag, it makes everything nice and snug. So there's nothing shaking around, nothing's moving, nothing's bending. So then you tape this up. You get it folded just like the size of the comic. Everything is not really measured out, but everything is set to where each thing fits into the other thing. So then you'll get your package like this, depending on how many you ordered or whatever you ordered. With the art print and whatnot. I'm not sure how we're going to ship some of the ones that have bigger things. You may get this and then a package that's bigger, so we'll see. But everyone who just ordered the book, it'll come just like this, a nice little package with I used to put map stickers on them. I stopped that though, because we had one we shipped that got ganked, and I was like, yeah, we're done. So I stopped doing that. But I think that's cool. So we got everything just about set. I need to buy a box of tape for the Gemini, so that way we can go slap your postage on it. Done. Nice and clean. Before, we were using the priority mailers, and it was nice and clean still, but there was just a look to it that was real independent. This, you'll open it up and it looks like you bought it from like a professional comic shop. Hello, Combo. I just dropped an audio comic book for issue 1 of Doomsday Kingdom on my channel. I'm not really sure what you mean. I'll check it out though, brother. Someone tell me who Sherry was talking to when Dwight first heard her. I'm still confused. I think she was openly talking to anybody. Like, she just, checked it out. Yeah. Well, I'll take a look and see what you're working with. Hello, Combo. Very short reading, like a page or two, just to help. Oh yeah, if it's a couple pages, that's fine. I just didn't want to turn around and you have like all the issues up and you do the entire issue and it's like, oh god, because then we have to do something. And I'd just rather not, that's the last thing I want to deal with. I just want to be big enough so we don't even have to worry. Well, I forget. There's a thing with copyright. Like if you become aware, if they can prove you became aware of someone using your copyright and you did nothing about it, other people or you lose like your right, you devalue your right to where other people can use it and you're not allowed to go after them. There's something stupid like that on it. I'm going to have to reread that. It's been a while since I read it up, but I'll check it out, see what you're talking about. But if it's a little few page thing, that should be no problem, brother. Stay far away from American Horror Story and talk about forced sex scenes. Too much forced straight sex and gay sex forced. I don't know. You might like it. I probably won't. I think sex scenes are a waste of time. I think when you're younger and you're curious, I think you're curious and you're kind of like, ooh, Linda Hamilton's tits look pretty fly. But then when you get older to where you're you know, you're active, let's say, it's just a waste of time. You know, if I want to see a pair, I want to see them in real life, not on TV. Fuck this. I'm back to say I'll be reviewing issue 5, Tears and Terror, soon. I look forward to the review. All right, I got you. All right, guys, be safe out there. And anything, yeah, be safe this Sunday. I'm trying to think. Next Sunday. And hopefully, if I get anything else comic wise, we'll put up some type of video, something like with the trading card, probably later this week. But if I happen to get the Flaw and Awe done for Friday the 13th, I would appreciate it if every and anybody could check it out if you like it, because I really want to jumpstart those again and keep those, if we can, as the main material and the main content on the channel. All right, see you later. Be safe. I'm out of here.